All right, a very good morning to you. I hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in to Cook in the Morning and staying with us until this far. This is Turning on the Web segment with me, Faith Kaulu. Without further ado, dear viewer, let's dive right into it. And today we start with very good news. I mean, social media has been a buzz because of this story, the story of Kenyan gospel artist Evelyn Wanjiru, who gave us the good news together with her husband Agunda Bweni Akweyu that they are expecting their first child. Now, this is such a very good news because for Kenyans who've known, and the couple have been very open with their story, they have been waiting, trusting in God and praying for 10 years. So announcing the good news via her social media page, the ecstatic singer began by thanking God for honoring his promise of giving them a child and her husband for his unmatched support. Well, this good news came with a song release on YouTube at Evelyn Wanjiru, and just within 2 days, the song has been able to garner more than 200,000 views. Let's have a snippet of the new song. Well, I'll just read her post on social media while announcing the good news of their, pregnancy. Evelyn Wanjiru says, "Today my heart is full of joy and gratitude as I write this. My eyes are full of tears. I have been waiting for this season for 10 years in my marriage. A blessed womb. God has fulfilled his promise." Definitely there's a verse she quotes there, 1 Samuel 1:27, which says, "I prayed for this child and the Lord has granted me what I asked of him." She also further goes on to encourage people who are also waiting upon the Lord and trusting for him. Well, let's just have a look on what Kenyans had to say about this good news, because everyone was posting and congratulating them. By the way, from Crack TV to you, Evelyn Wanjiru and husband, congratulations. We are happy for you too. On Twitter, people say at Nzao_Florence is saying, "Who is dancing with me for at Evelyn Wanjiru's miracle? But God, praise and ending. Congratulations." Indeed, it is a good news to be celebrated about. At Goldmine Show says, "His promises are yes and amen. 10 years of waiting couldn't break this beautiful couple. Congratulations, Evelyn Wanjiru and Agunda Bweni." At the final tweet is Daddy On Music, who says, "Jesus looked at them and said, with man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." And he goes there and says Matthew 19:26, and he says, "Imagine waiting for 10 years for a baby." You guys, this is such good news. Congratulations to you, Evelyn Wanjiru and husband, and thank you so much for sharing the good news with us. Well, let's move on to the next story, which of course Kenyans have been talking about, is a fuel crisis in Kenya. Hashtag fuel crisis KE on Twitter. Guys, this fuel crisis has not only affected people with cars, people with matatu, using matatu as well, and has caused traffic on our roads because people have been lining up at different fuel stations and causing traffic on the road. Well, good news is that the Cabinet Secretary of Energy, Monica Juma, said that the fuel crisis will be averted because the government will restore normal supply of petroleum products all over the country within the next 72 hours. This was yesterday, so we are hoping for good things to happen. However, this good news came with not so good news because the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority announced new prices of petroleum products. Of course, an increase was witnessed there. Petroleum products went up by around 9 shillings thereabout. So now a liter in Nairobi will retail at about 144 Kenya shillings. That is of petrol. Diesel will retail at 125 Kenya shillings, and kerosene 113.44 Kenya shillings. People have been talking about this. Of course, fuel prices are expected to go even higher, and even with this 9 shillings added to the price right now, the government says that the subsidy, you remember the government signed subsidy for fuel prices, has been involved thereabouts. That's why it hasn't gone up by about 40 Kenya shillings. So we are grateful. I think we should be grateful. And just let's have a look at what Kenyans had to say on Twitter about fuel shortage KE. At Imwabili says, "Is hashtag fuel shortage KE going to pass, or we embrace it as one of our struggles in Kenya? The process of searching for fuel is draining." Indeed, it is draining for everyone because chaos is what I can say it has caused. At Kaulu Teko, it says, "Coming days situation will be more know us, and there's an image there of people queuing at a petrol station. We have become the queuing nation, guys. @_Tyru says, why not remove levies and taxes equivalent to the subsidies on fuel instead of collecting the taxes and losing them? What's the point of collecting money only to return it to the same people you collected it from, if not to enable embezzlement? Educate me. #full_shortage_KE. And guys, thinking about this, I'm like, yes, why don't just remove the taxes and levies instead of telling us you're giving us a subsidy? That's a question we are asking. Maybe the last tweet we are going to look at on #full_shortage_KE is from Kenyan Traffic, who says, so we went through a pandemic, lockdowns, police brutality, COVID billions. Mombasa road users have spent more nights on the road than others. And here we are with #full_shortage_KE and inflation. And they go on to say, I'm tired of the adversities that is facing Kenya. Let's be hopeful, tuendelee kujivunia kuwa wa Kenya, and we hope that you know, something is going to change soon. Here comes the election. This is your opportunity to think wise and be wise on that day. When that day comes, think, elect a leader who will actually solve the problems that we are currently facing. And before we go to what we are going to discuss about next, let's have a look at what one of the witnesses had to say on #full_shortage_KE.
Kabisa. Wacha nikwambia Wakenya tuko sawa. Sisi hapa wote, mimi nimezunguka, unaweka dhao ya kuzunguka ukitafuta mafuta ingine. Yeah, but nipo at least tuko na super expressway inatusaidia. Na ile nini, si BBI tulimwaga pesa. Ndio hii inatusaidia, ndio maana tunazunguka. Na wakati wa kura tutasimama mara mbili asubuhi, na hiyo wakati wa pili tutasimama tufanye hii kitu. Wakenya tumezoea kupiga line na tunafurahia sana. Ni jambo mzuri, tunashukuru serikali. Sababu sasa tungepiga wapi line? Tupige line asubuhi ya mafuta, usoke upige ya maziwa, alafu baadaye nasikia maji pia imeisha. Tumeanza rationing. Sasa sisi tutaangalia wapi? Lakini uzuri tunaona hata tuko na viongozi hapa. Tunafurahia. Mimi nimefurahia. Hii kuzunguka tukitafuta mafuta. Hata unaamka usiku saa 6 unaacha bibi na watoto unaenda kutafuta mafuta na haupati. So tunataka kushukuru serikali sana. Tumefurahia. Ni jambo mzuri, hata hatupatanagi hivi kama Wakenya. Wacha niende kasiishia hapa. Unajua naenda napata imeisha.
So what Jugush is saying is that you unajaza mafuta thao, because most petrol station walikuwa na kulimit, and then you go, hiyo thao unatumia ukitafuta thao ingine. So the whole day you spend looking for fuel, guys. But other than the fuel shortage, we thank God, because BBI and Mombasa Expressway has helped us and will continue to help us as Kenya. That aside, guys, hopefully we will hold CS Monica Juma to her words, and hoping that, you know, fuel shortage KE will be sorted very soon. Let's look at a story that caused anger and commotion on social media pages. The story of Alvin Linus Chivondo, a 21-year-old Kenyan who was sentenced to 1 year in prison with an option of being released after paying a fine of 100 Kenya shillings. This is for shoplifting. Well, Alvin was caught stealing goods worth 3,165 Kenya shillings from Naiva supermarket, and among the food items he stole were 5 kgs rather of rice, 5 kgs of cooking oil, 2 kgs of sugar, tea leaves, and honey. This is something to which he pleaded guilty when he was in court. There's a video there playing, and you could see him in court. He pleaded guilty to the charges, and he said yes, indeed, he was trying to steal the items because he didn't have money, he couldn't afford them, and his family had slept angry. Now, Kenyans were angered because of the judgment, because this is a guy who had no option. This is a guy who's quote unquote is not well financially, we could say poor, and he just cared about his family and wanted to feed his family. And so Chaos was there on Twitter, and Kenyans did send money to the guy to help in releasing him. But former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko came through for him and paid the total amount, 100,000 Kenya shillings needed, and he was released from industrial prison on Thursday morning. And good news is Mike Sonko, former governor, took him to the same supermarket, did shopping for him that would last him 1 month, and then gave him a job, you guys. So right now, Alvin Linus Chivondo is hired at the Sonko rescue team. So hopefully he's going to earn a living. He'll be able to feed his family well. And, you know, that he'll be able to make a decent living. It is a sad state to see how Kenyans are suffering and to see how far one can go to feed his family. And for me, I'm encouraged that Kenyans did come through for him. Kenyans did want his release, and just to see what former governor did is also very, 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 very nice. So let's just have a look at few of the tweets and what people had to say about his case. And at Moha001_Onyango says, lawyers on my timeline, can the guy who shoplifted food items worth 3,800 carry the items home to his family now that Mike Sonko has cleared his 100k fine, or Naivas will take it back to the shelves? I don't think he needs that, because Sonko clearly has done him a very good amount of shopping. At CBS_KE says, when others are ordering for the release of Alvin Linus Chivondo, who shoplifted foodstuffs from Naivas supermarket because his kids slept hungry for 2 days, Mike Sonko pays the fine of 100,000 Kenya shillings. God bless Mike Sonko. Kusema na kutenda. Indeed, kusema na kutenda. And let's look at Andres_DZ, who says, Sonko took the guy that was arrested for shoplifting to the same supermarket. Alishikwa na akamfanyia shopping. Yani, hiyo Naivas hiyo alimrudisha tu hapo na kusema get anything you want, I'm going to pay for it. And at Helen Jerike E says, dear at Raila Odinga, what Sonko has done is what we call leadership. Lecturing judiciary was not a solution. You are a billionaire, but you couldn't pay for 100k fine for a hustler. Okay, guys. But I think for me, the good news is that he's been released, he's been given a job, so he's going to earn a living, and he has shopping to at least last him until he stabilizes himself. So that's the good news, and I'm encouraged by that. Well, right, but now we conclude with a very, 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 very sad story. The story of Nigerian artist, gospel artist Osinachi's death. Now, the world is mourning the death of popular Nigerian singer Osinachi Nwachukwu. The first reports after her demise, which was last week on Friday, indicated that she suffered a throat infection, which could probably have been cancer. However, this report was vehemently denied by her family members, who claimed that the artist died from injuries inflicted by the husband, Mr. Peter Nwachukwu. This is a very sad story, because immediately after her demise, of course, several people came out to social media claiming that she was a victim of domestic violence, and probably beatings from her husband led to her demise. Of course, reports from Nigeria indicate that Nigeria police arrested her husband rather, and investigation is going on. And in case you're wondering who is Osinachi Nwachukwu, guys, she came to the limelight especially after she collaborated with Nigerian artist Prosper Osinachi and released a song known as Ekueme. So let's just have a brief preview of that song.
The cry you will cry when the saints have gone. Cry it now while the saints are still around. The shout you will shout when you heard that the saints have gone. Shout it now while the saints are still around. After rapture, there will be no more mercy. This is the time to ask for God's mercy when the saints are still around.
That is a very, very, very sad story, and for me, I hope that justice shall be served, that investigations shall be thorough, and if indeed she died from injuries inflicted by the husband, that legal action will be taken. And guys on Twitter, of course, were very, very sad of the story, and I'll just sample a few of the tweets on hashtag Osinachi Nwachukwu. At its_AJ says, I will forever have great memories of you, your angelic voice, the worship and ministration helped many come as they are, willing to be vulnerable and broken for Christ. God bless you and give you true rest, daughter of Zion. Indeed, this is a very sad story. At Promise Ikichuku says, you are in a better place, and shares an image there that says, say no to domestic violence. Well, at Nwadike_John says, the church has constantly been under attack. People look for every opportunity to attack the church. From testimonies, we can gather that Pastor Eneche was not aware of what happened to Osinachi Nwachukwu, but people are still twisting and turning these issues just to justify. In case you're wondering, Pastor Eneche is the minister who was in charge of the church where Osinachi ministered, and he came forth to say, you know what, we were not aware that Osinachi was a victim of violence because she did not share that with the church. Last on this hashtag Osinachi Nwachukwu, I look at Jumis Q, who says, the fact that I'm reading this after seeing all the news about Osinachi Nwachukwu murder at the hands of her abusive husband makes me want to scream. The number of tweets saying it was on her to leave when we live in societies that will ostracize her as a divorcee is sad. This story is very sad, guys, and for me, I hope that this will be the last of it, the last of all domestic violence cases. Let's bring an end to this, guys. Very sad indeed. We shall miss you, but we are grateful for the opportunity that she had on earth, and her ministration and her music that she left with us that will definitely minister to many generations to come. That is all we had for you guys right here on Trending on the Web segment, 14 minutes past 10 a.m. Thank you so much. Keep it tuned right here because I am just letting Sambo to come in with the guest artist segment. And today we have Treasure MJ on board. Definitely an interview you want to sit and listen to. So thank you so much for tuning into The Trend. My name is Faith Kaulu. Till next time, goodbye. But keep it right here for the guest artist segment.